Thomas Avallone, Maccentric, is joining us for a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Maccentric for anybody who doesn't know.
Well, Maccentric is what we call an Apple authorized service provider. We're one of the only companies in town that maintains that relationship, that working relationship with Apple. We've done so since 2006, 2007, since we opened the doors.
I was going to say, so in an industry that hardly ever changes. Oh my gosh.
There's been a lot of change in those years.
And you had texted me last week,
yes,
about an article you had seen about the latest in phone scams and computers. And I would think that this is something that every week there's something new and you hear about it.
There is. I mean, it's something that it's an issue that we encounter on an almost daily basis. You know, what we find is that the people continue to find inventive and sometimes not so inventive ways of, you know, gaining access to your computer.
What are the newest scams, and what are is there a common thread to them?
What we see most often is people will be using will focus on desktop, laptop computers for the sake of this discussion.
Are we talking like Hillary Clinton phishing stuff, the John Podesta?
No, not exactly. Typically what occurs is that someone will be using their computer and a window will pop up alerting them to the fact that their computer may have a virus or there may be some sort of a security issue. Oftentimes it's accompanied by a very official voice that will not stop talking to the user.
But what kind of site does one have to be on, or what kind of, how does this get... This has got to come from somewhere.
It does come from a variety of places. It can come from visiting less than, I suppose, above board or reputable websites, I guess to put it diplomatically. It can come from visiting...
Let's be blunt. You don't,
yes.
but you don't necessarily mean sites of the flesh.
I do. Yes.
You do.
I do. I mean, those sorts of websites. I mean, websites where you might go to download movies for free, music for free. You're basically traveling in a bad neighborhood and you've been mugged, basically, or you've been pickpocketed.
So it's what Matt has said forever about a lot of those sites. If you're trying to... capture someone's intellectual property for nothing.
That often, yes.
The sites that traffic in that kind of material.
Right. We'll have college students that come in and say, there's a message on my computer, I can't navigate away from it, it's telling me I have a virus, and then talking with them a little further, they will often say something like, I had a friend that told me I could go to this website and, download season 3 of Game of Thrones, and now my computer is unusable.
Okay, so this thing pops up, this warning.
Right.
What should you do? What should you never do?
Well, the first thing you should never do is call the phone number, because it's often accompanied by a phone number saying, call this number, we would be happy to help you with it.
I mean, can you just exit out from the little corner of your computer? Once it pops up, are you screwed? Sometimes
you can dismiss it. Other times it pops right back up. You can restart the computer. It pops back up.
So it's in there.
So that kind of sends people into a bit of a panic mode where they will call that phone number and basically do whatever it is that those people tell them to do.
Or even if it's because you were somewhere that maybe you shouldn't be.
Right.
You don't want to take it to the guy. I don't want to take it to Thomas and Maccentric. He'll know where I was looking.
That might play a role in it also. But a lot of times people find it because they might misspell the URL of a website. Like they may go to Facebook instead of Facebook, or they might type, Shreveport Tiles instead of Shreveport Times, and they will find themselves on a website that's designed to take advantage of those type of basically typos.
Those things exist?
They do. And
disreputable websites are like one letter or two off?
Yeah, they will register the domain of a popular website just off a character or two, because those are things that people...
I had no idea.
Yeah, and you'll go to the website and it might pop up and say, hey, your Flash player is out of date. Well, the Shreveport Times website says that my Flash player is out of date. Let me say okay. It'll download something, prompt you to install it. It's not Flash Player. It's something that's about to basically hijack your web browser and not allow you to navigate away or quit it.
So this thing pops up.
It pops up
on your computer.
Right up there. Yep.
What do I do?
One or two things. One, if you have the proper software installed on your computer and you feel comfortable attempting to remove it yourself, I mean, that is certainly a possibility. The second,
you're talking about security
software, something that will scan for that sort of thing and remove it. But sometimes it gets so deeply seated, you've got to bring it to someone that can basically preserve your data onto an external drive, reformat the internal, do a fresh install of the OS, and move everything back. And that is as much fun for the average user as it sounds. So they may want to bring
the
it
root
somewhere.
canal. It's a digital root canal.
That's very appropriate.